As with so many parts of life, big corporations buying out family-owned businesses is a problem all over the world. But it gets worse when these companies are also foreign entities. Tasmania is no exception. How big is this problem? And who are the companies fighting to save these family farms? We're going to talk about it in this video. To start, how much land is actually owned by foreign entities? To create more transparency into the level of foreign ownership of Australia's agricultural land, the Register of Foreign Ownership of Agricultural Land, also known as the Agricultural Land Register, was established. It is estimated that around 13.8% of the total agricultural land area in Australia has a level of foreign interest, which includes leasehold and freehold. A large chunk of this is owned by China, whose investors see Australia as fertile ground to produce goods. There is a high demand for Australian-produced fruits, dairy, meats, wine, and minerals from the Chinese middle class. But this doesn't really say anything concrete about the economy. It does, however, make it harder for local farmers to be of value to their local economy. To paint a picture, it is said that in Circular Head, there is only 9 family farms left that are not corporately owned. Next up, things are changing. That relationships with China have been rather strained is no news. And after it came to light that there were severe animal welfare issues within the Van Dairy farms, things have not been looking good for the company. It has come to light that the biggest and oldest dairy farm of the country, once a beacon of pride, has not been complying with the Farm Dairy Premises Effluent Management Code of Practice. Pictures surfaced of underfed cows, dead cows, and a 1,000-liter cube container partially filled with dead calves. Since then, the owners have decided it's probably best to sell at least part of the company. In total, the Van Dairy Group owned 27 farms in Tasmania. However, in early 2021, the Melbourne-based Prime Value Asset Management bought 11 of those. Tasmanian Independent MP Andrew Wilkie wasn't very happy about the sale and said it would have been better if it had been sold to alternative Tasmanian bids. But there's no denying that having the land and companies out of the hands of foreign entities and back into the Australian ones is already a step in the direction of local wealth having a shot at growing more prosperous. And it opens a way for people with a vision. So now, let's take a closer look at a Circular Head. In the far northwest of Tasmania lies Circular Head, population a little more than 8,000. It's a rural area relying heavily on agriculture. Despite this, actual ownership of agriculture business is hard for young people and can feel like a far-fetched dream with big corporations growing bigger and bigger. Even though the Australian government tightened its rules for foreign buyers of agricultural land, not much has changed when it comes to existing ownership of land by foreign countries, and their share has remained relatively stable over the last few years, and it's very unlikely that it's going to disappear completely, even with Van Dairy shrinking considerably. But not all is lost. Not every corporation is bad for communities, and not everyone has to give up on hope or dreams, because there are ways to help local businesses and bring family farms back to life. You just need someone to give a good example to lead the way, someone like Stephen Fisher and Circular Head Farms. So let's see how one person can start the fight for family-owned businesses. 7 years ago, Stephen Fisher realized that the pressure on locals to have ownership in the agricultural industry was becoming too great, and he felt like someone needed to do something about it. His solution was to create Circular Head Farms, a corporation in its own right. But this is a corporation with its heart in the right place. By raising money from local investors, they're able to buy properties, which they then put into the hands of aspiring farmers, also called share farmers. Circular Head Farms offers the opportunity to slowly but surely build up a true business, first through cow ownership, all the way to actually buying stakes in the farm. They bought their first farm in 2014, whose share farmer, Cody Korpershuk, now owns a herd and a 40% stake in another property. These days, Circular Head Farms boasts more than 4,200 hectares of farmland, which includes 11 dairies and 8,500 milking cows. Despite that, Circular Head Farms' goal isn't necessarily to oppose foreign ownership. They're simply an advocate for supporting the growth and wealth of the local community. And as Stephen Fisher told ABC News, wealth is created by owning the farm. Wealth is not created by working on the farm. Meaning, even if big companies promise to create jobs, this does not directly translate into true wealth in the local economy. And it seems like they have found a way to do just that, bring wealth back to the local economy. So what has come from the efforts of Stephen Fisher and Circular Head Farms? Are there other ways in which we can support family-owned businesses, and in particular the ones in agriculture? Stick around until the end of the video and we'll tell you. Next, we're introducing you to some of the people Circular Head Farms has helped. With the help of investors, Circular Head Farms has been giving people the chance to build a business and a legacy, which at the same time brings prosperity to the local community. Cody Korpershuk grew up on a family farm. He watched his father milk the cows every morning, even during Christmas, so he was well aware of the hard work that comes with running a farm. For a while, he thought that he wanted a career in the building trade, but he and his wife changed their minds after helping out his cousin on the family farm. Thanks to Circular Head Farms, he was able to dive right in. The share farmer was able to do most of it on his own power, though Stephen Fisher offered mentorship through weekly discussions about on-farm management. Running a farm isn't easy, but if there's a will, there's a way. Another family that has gotten the opportunity to fulfill their dream to own a family farm are the Langleys. With a baby and another one on the way, it's their dream to one day pass the family farm on to their children. Thanks to Stephen Fisher and Circular Head Farms, this isn't going to be a dream forever, but a reality. Next, other ways local farmers are supported. There are, of course, other ways companies can support local agriculture, which will make it easier for people to support them as well. An example is Woolworths, an Australian chain of supermarkets. They support Tasmanian farmers, producers, and growers by stocking their shelves across the state with Tassie-made products. Over 200 products that are available in-store are produced locally in Tasmania by Tasmanian suppliers. Most notably, all milk is locally sourced. One of these local suppliers is Ashgrove Dairy, a milk and cheese factory located in Elizabethtown. The farm has been in the family for generations, and they have been farming the land since the early 1900s. One of the reasons they are still in business now is their heart, but having the support from a big company like Woolworths certainly makes life easier. It's good to know that, by being aware of how products are sourced, it's possible for everyone to support local businesses and keep family farms alive. And lastly, how does it go further? Now all we need is more people having the courage to chase their dreams. It's not impossible to find footing in a business that is filled with whales of corporations and companies. More and more people have a desire for products with a story, products that aren't just produced, but made. Maybe it's not just about starting a farm to sell raw products, but to make your own. You'll have something that a big corporation never really has: love. And it's not just the dairy industry. As Circular Head Farms chair Paul Lambert states, it would be amazing if people looked at the dairy industry and realized they could try to do the same thing on their own respective industries. If it works for the dairy industry, it can also work for the wheat industry or the sheep industry. The key here is that people are willing to work and invest in their local businesses, giving other people the opportunity to grow not only for themselves, but their communities. So as you can see, not all is lost. Not every corporation is out to get rid of the smaller business. Sometimes they can do a lot of good. How do you feel about company-owned land? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.